The sun burns red over the twin moons of Zelari Prime. The royal arena stands tall like a crown made of stone and metal. Thousands of alien eyes shine with excitement. Flags fly in the air. Drums beat like thunder. The crowd shouts one name again and again. Champion Drex, Champion Drex, Champion Drex, Champion Drex. In the royal balcony sits Princess Kylara. She is beautiful and cold like frozen fire. Her dress shines like stars around her stand. Her 5 royal maids, each one trained in war, each one ready to kill. But today is not a day for war. Today is a day for entertainment. Gate opens on the right side of the arena. Champion Drex walks out. He is tall like a tree and strong like a mountain. His skin is dark red. His eyes are black as space. He lifts his hammer high and the crowd roars from the other gate. The prisoner enters, the one they call the human. He walks slowly, no armor, no weapons, just a simple gray suit and a calm face. He is not big, he is not loud, he is not special, or so they think. Alara narrows her eyes. So this is the creature from Earth, the one who dared to speak in front of the High Council, the one who refused to kneel, the one who said no to her command. She feels anger rise in her chest. He should have died in prison, but the law says a prisoner may earn freedom through the arena, and he chose to fight the champion. Foolish, stupid, weak. A horn sounds. The battle begins. Rex moves like a storm. He swings his hammer. The ground breaks. Dust rises. The crowd shouts. The human stands still. The champion charges again, this time with rage. His hammer crashes down like a meteor. The human moves fast, too fast. He slides under the champion's legs. He touches his own wrist. A blue light flashes, and from his hand a glowing blade appears, thin and sharp like a line of pure light. Before the champion can turn, the human rises and strikes once, only once, for a second. No one moves, no one speaks. Then something terrible happens. Champion Drex splits in half. His body falls to the sand. In 2 parts, blood spills like a river. The hammer drops with a soft thud. Silence covers the arena like a blanket. Princess Kylara stands. Her heart stops for a moment. Her mouth opens, but no words come. The maids draw their weapons. The guards aim their blasters, but the human raises his hands. He says nothing. He just looks up at Kylarati's eyes are calm but deep, so deep they feel like space. The high judge steps forward. His voice shakes. According to the law of combat, if a prisoner defeats the royal champion in public trial, he shall earn not only freedom but honor status and the right to claim royal prize. All eyes turn to Kylarati. Judge continues, and as stated in Code 7 of the ancient rule, the prize includes any royal offering present. During the trial, Kylara steps back. She cannot believe what she hears. The human has just claimed her and her 5 maids. By law grips the railing. Her voice returns. This is madness. He is not Zelari. He is not one of us. The judge lowers his head. Law does not speak of species, only of victory. The human walks forward, not fast, not slow, like he owns the ground. Kalara's heart beats hard in her chest. She feels fear, not because of death, but because of something else. The human reaches the center of the arena. He looks at her again. This time he speaks. I do not want slaves. I do not want war, but I will take what is mine until your people learn what peace means. The crowd begins to whisper. Voices rise like wind. Is he a god? Is he a demon, or just a man? No one knows. Kylara looks at him, really looks, and for the first time she feels something strange. Curiosity. Who is this human? What does he really want, and why does he look at her not like a prize, but like a puzzle? The arena stays quiet, but inside every mind a new story begins, and none can guess how it will end. The night sky over Zelari Prime burns with red clouds and silver stars. The arena is silent now, but the city is not. Whispers travel like fire through every hall and every shadow. The human has won. The champion is dead, and the law cannot be denied inside the royal tower. Kylara walks fast, her heart beating like war drums. Her royal maids follow her without a word. They all feel the same: storm, shame, fear, and something they cannot name. In the throne chamber, the High Council waits. 12 ancient figures dressed in glowing silk and stone masks. They speak without sound, but their message is clear. The human is now part of the royal line by law, not as an outsider but as a rightful victor. He will be treated with honor. He will be granted a chamber, and Kylara must welcome him. She wants to scream, but her voice is ice. She bows without emotion and walks away. In her chest, a plan begins to form in the quiet of her personal hall. She gathers her maids. One brings a silver vial filled with poison. Another hides a blade in her sleeve. Tonight they will serve him wine. Tonight he will sleep forever. But the human is already in the royal guest chamber. He stands near the window, watching the stars. His eyes do not blink. His hands stay calm. He waits without fear. The door opens. Kylara steps in, her eyes cold, her voice soft like a knife wrapped in silk. You are not a king. You are not even a warrior. You got lucky, that is all. The human turns slowly. His face shows no anger, no pride, only stillness. My name is Rian Blackamore. I do not care for your throne or your titles, but I will not be broken. Not by chains, not by law, not by yoke. Kylara steps forward. She holds the cup of wine. It smells sweet but hides death. She lifts it to him, a gift from the princess, a drink to honor your victory. Rian does not move. He looks at the cup, then at her hands, then at her eyes. You want me gone. You want this nightmare to end, but I am not here to take you. I am here to wake you. She does not understand, or maybe she refuses to. He takes the cup in his hand. He smells it. He stares at it. Then he pours it on the floor without a word. Kalara's fingers tighten. Her maids move, but Rian raises one hand. You are trained, you are strong, but you are not ready. He turns away from them as if they are no threat. As if he already knows what comes next. From his belt he pulls a small object. A black square with a red light. He presses it once. A soft hum fills the room. Then a voice speaks in a strange language. Commander Blackamore, stage 1 complete. Do you require extraction? Keller steps back, her eyes wide, her voice shaking. You are military, you planned. This Rian turns again. This time his eyes burn like sun's. I was captured on purpose. I wanted to see what your people are. I wanted to learn if peace is possible. And now I know. Clara does not know what to say. The maids stay frozen. They have never seen anyone speak like this. They have never seen anyone stand like this. He walks past her, stops at the door. You are not my enemy. Not yet, but you must choose soon. Serve a dying empire, or help build something greater. He leaves without sound. The guards outside do nothing. They feel his presence and they are afraid. Clara drops the empty cup. It breaks like her certainty. Her knees feel weak, but she stands. She looks at her maids. None speak, not even Myra, who once said no human could survive. A Zellery blade that night. Clara does not sleep. She sits by her window and watches the stars. She thinks of the blade of light, the calm voice, the strange words, and the law that gave him power. By right, by blood, by blade. She wonders who wrote that law and why. In the shadows of the palace, the old ones whisper, the human has come and nothing will ever be the same. Before the blood fell in the arena, before the law was read, before the princess offered poison, before the blade of light was seen, there was silence. A long, deep silence in the dark, cold sky of space. Inside that silence, a small ship floated near. The moons of Zalari Prime. Inside that ship, the human named Rian Blackamore sat with his hands on the console and his eyes closed. He waited for the signal, he waited for his orders, but more than that, he waited for the perfect moment to let them capture him. It had to look real, it had to look weak, because the Zalari would never fear a man who came with noise and fire. They only feared what they could not understand, and Rian knew that better than anyone back on Earth. The Council of Unified Nations argued and doubted. They said the mission was suicide. They said no human had ever returned from Zalari space, but Rian was not like other humans. He was born for this, built for this, shaped by war and trained in peace. His mission was simple on paper, but impossible in truth. Enter Zalari Prime, get close to the royal bloodline, find the Vault of Origins, and uncover the secret of the Zalari Empire. But plans never survive contact with the unknown, and Zalari Prime was more unknown than anything Earth had seen. When they captured him, he smiled. When they bound him, he watched. When they dragged him through the dust of their streets, he listened. He heard their stories, he heard their fears, he heard their songs, he learned their language in weeks. He memorized their laws in days. He studied their combat in silence, and he waited for the Erin. And now inside the royal chamber, Clara stands before the flame wall. Her eyes follow the blue fire as it dances and shifts. She thinks about the words he said. You are not my enemy, not yet. She hates that she remembers them so clearly. Behind her, Myra enters with a message. The human has requested access to the royal archives. Clara turns. Why? Myra shrugs. He says he wants to study the law. Clara nods. She tells her to grant it. Let him read, let him drown in their history. But inside her chest she feels something sharp, a question she cannot shake. What is he looking for? Meanwhile, Rian walks through the hall of memory. Stone walls rise high on each side. Lines of old text glow with soft gold light. Ancient paintings cover the ceilings. They show the rise of the Zalari. They show warriors with curved blades. Cities made of crystal, skies filled with dragons of metal. But Rian sees something different. He touches a section marked with strange symbols. His fingers follow the lines. His eyes move fast. A voice speaks behind him. It is Elder Rollo, a keeper of the archives, a man with skin like bark and eyes like winddew. Read well for an outsider. Rian nods. I had time to learn. Rollo walks closer, his voice soft but sharpened. What is it you seek in these old lies? Rian turns to him slowly. His answer comes with no pause. The truth beneath the lies. The elder watches him for a moment, then steps aside and gestures toward a sealed chamber. The real history lies there, but even we are not allowed to see it. Only royal blood may enter. And nods once, then leaves without a word. Outside the chamber, a small blue light blinks on his wrist. He taps it once and a map appears. In his vision, the vault is close to be a myth. That night he returns to his room. His blade sits on the table. His eyes stay on the stars. He thinks of Earth. He thinks of his sister taken during the Zalari raid on Colony 9. He thinks of the final words she sent. They are not what they seem. They are hiding something. Ancient Rian whispers to himself, I will find it. I will bring it home. In another tower, Clara cannot sleep. She walks through her chamber like a ghost. The wind moves her curtains. The stars outside feel cold. She remembers his eyes. Not just human, something deeper, something that saw through her. She wonders if he will try to rule or destroy, or maybe both. But she cannot stop thinking about one thing. Why did he not kill her when he had the right? Why does he keep looking at the walls and the books, not the throne, not the crown? In the morning, she sends a message to the High Council. Allow him full access. Let him walk where he wants. Let him search on. We shall watch as the sun rises. The bells of Zalari ring across the city. People whisper in the streets. Children play with toy blades of light. Priests call it a sign from the stars. Soldiers speak his name with fear. Maidens whisper it with something else. And Far below, in a hidden chamber, a voice wakes inside the vault, old and strange, full of warning. The human has come, and the walls remember his blood. The palace of Zalari Prime breathes with silence as the twin moons rise behind the crystal towers. The wind carries the scent of fire, orchids, and old iron inside the royal walls. Everything feels slow, like time itself is afraid to move. Kalara sits before her mirror, dressed in robes of midnight silk. Her golden cuffs shine like chains on her wrists. Her eyes are calm, but her fingers tremble slightly. Tonight, she must attend the ceremony of acknowledgement. A night ritual older than the empire itself, a law written in the age of fire. If one defeats the royal champion and claims royal prize by blood, then the prize must stand before the victor under moonlight, not as slave, not as ruler, but as truth revealed. The maids dress her in silence. None of them speak his name. They only move with grace, like dancers in a funeral procession. Even Myra avoids eye contact, as if shame lives in every shadow. Kalara stands and walks without a word through halls lined with statues of kings and queens, each one carved with pride and power. But tonight they feel like ghosts watching her with hollow eyes. The moonlight shines on the ceremonial balcony. There he stands, Ryan Blackamore, not dressed like royalty, not armored like a soldier. Only a simple black tunic and bare feet on cold stone. He turns as she steps forward. Their eyes meet. No bow, no greeting, only silence thick enough to drown. And the priest begins the rite. He speaks the old words, the phrases that bind law to blood. He lights the flame between them, the ritual flame that shows truth, if there is any, to Finn. Kalara looks into the flame. She expects to see hunger in his eyes, pride, maybe your pleasure, but she sees only weight, not the weight of greed, the weight of memory. He speaks first, his voice calm like water moving through stone. I did not come here to take, I came because something calls from this place, a voice older than both our worlds, buried under your crown, under your name. Kalara steps forward, her voice colder than the flame. You killed our champion, you took our law, now you speak in riddles. Rian breathes slowly. He does not look away. Your law brought me here, but your law is broken, like the stars above your throne, like the bones beneath your city. Kyla feels heat rise in her chest, anger or fear, she cannot tell. She wants to shout, but her voice refuses. Priest raises the ceremonial blade. By law, Kylara must offer a drop of blood to bind her presence to the victor. To complete the rite, she does not flinch as the blade cuts her hand. Her blood drips into the flame and the fire turns deep blue. The priest steps back now. It is done. Rian reaches forward, but not for her hand. He touches the flame, lets it burn his skin without pain. The blue fire wraps around his fingers like wind around stone. Kalara watches. Something inside her begins to twist, a thread of thought that pulls tighter with every second. Why does he not take what is his? Why does he not even look at her like a man who has won? He steps back and sits on the edge of the platform, looks up at the stars like he is waiting for them. Tuan's work. Kalara steps closer, not because she wants to, because she needs to. She sits beside him, close enough to hear his breath, not close enough to share it. She speaks again, this time softer. You are not like the others who came here. You do not want gold or land or flesh. Then what do you want? Trian closes his eyes for a moment. When he speaks, his voice carries memory. I want to know why your people hide their beginning, why your empire fears the past, why your blood burns blue. Kalara stays silent. No one speaks of the old blood. The vault is a myth. The first flame is a story told to scare children. She wants to lie, but the blue flame still glows between them. Rian opens his eyes and looks at her, not like a conqueror, not like a master, like someone searching for a lost name. He reaches out, not to touch her, but to offer something invisible. Help me find the truth, or help them bury it. Deepa. Kalara does not move. She stares at his hand, at the scars on his wrist, at the fire in his palm. And something breaks inside her, not fear, not hate, something older. She takes his hand. Only for a second the flame between them flares. The stars shift hand. The palace holds its breath. The sky above the palace of Zalari Prime turns silver as dawn touches the tips of the crystal towers. A soft wind moves through the gardens, carrying the smell of burnt spice and wet stone. Inside the east wing, 5 maids stand in silence before the window of the royal chamber. They are dressed in red armor, trimmed with bone silver, each one trained in combat since childhood, each one loyal to the crown since birth. Mira, the eldest, holds her spear with both hands, her jaw tight, her eyes focused. She remembers when her sister fell in the Third Border War. She remembers when the queen named her as protector of the next ruler. Kylara, her mission was simple: protect the blood, kill the threatened. Now that threat lives in the palace, walks the sacred halls, breathes the royal air. Beside her stands Anel, the quiet one. She once cut down a rebel general with nothing but a hairpin. She can hear heartbeats from across a room. Now she listens for one heartbeat that does not match their kind. The human, she can feel his presence even when he sleeps next to her. Is Lyra, the youngest, still new but quick, eyes sharp like glass, hands always near her twin daggers. She watches the others and waits for the command. The fourth maid, Cyril, sharp as a sword and cold as a winter moon. She speaks rarely, but her loyalty is fire under ice. She would throw herself into flame before allowing weakness. And then there is Vay, no blade in hand, no armor on her skin, only eyes that see too much. A healer by training, a warrior by truth. She saw the moment it changed, not when he won the fight, not when he claimed the law, but when he sat with Kylara and said nothing. The door opens. Slowly Kylara steps in, dressed in soft white robes. No crown, no guards. Only the memory of blue fire still glowing in her thoughts. She walks past them without speaking, stands before the mirror and removes her cuffs. Her hands still ache from the ceremony, but the pain is not what stays with her. It is the calm in his voice, the patience in his silence. She turns to face them. Her eyes meet Myra's first. No words, only a long pause that says everything. He is not what we thought. Her voice quiet but firm. He is not here to rule or to destroy, but I believe he is here for something larger than us. Myra says nothing. Her grip on the spear loosens just a little. Not surrender, not trust. Just the beginning of a question. Anil speaks next. He walks the library at night, reads old texts without fear. He found the sealed scroll, the one hidden since the Great Purge. He read it. Carla steps forward. What did it say? Anil looks down. It speaks of the first flame of the blood that came from stars, and the visitors who gave fire to the ancestors. Lyra whispers, and it says, the fire will return in human skin. Silence fills the chamber. Even the wind seems to stop. Kalara closes her eyes. She remembers the moment she touched his hand, the way the flame reacted, the way her heart did not know if it was rage or awakening. A loud crack echoes through the tower, a sound of stone breaking, then a scream. All 5 maids rush forward, Kalara behind them. They reach the west corridor and see smoke. A noble guard lies on the floor, bleeding, his attacker Gonand. There stands Rian, kneeling beside the fallen guard, his hands pressed to the wound, his tunic stained with blood. Not his own guards arrive and point weapons, but Myra steps in front of them, spears raised at the wrong man. Kalara shouts, hold no fire, stand down. She rushes forward, sees the wound, sees Rian's hands glowing faint blue, a field of pressure around the bleeding. Medical tech, Earth origin, but laced with something else, something old. The guard breathes, still alive, still here. Rian looks up, not for praise, not for thanks, only to say one thing. Someone tried to kill this man, to frame me. They failed. Myra watches him, his eyes, his hands, his posture. She lowers her weapon for the first time since the arena. She nods. We will watch, not because we trust, but because the fire knows your name. The other maids follow her lead, blades lowered, eyes still alert, but something inside them has shifted. Later that night, Kalara stands on her balcony again. The wind carries laughter from the lower courts. The city has begun to speak. Some call him a curse, some call him a flame reborn. Beside her, Myra stands with arms crossed. We are sworn to protect you, even from yourself. Kella smiles without joy. Then watch me closely, because I may follow him, and if he leads us into truth, then I will not turn away. The arena stands empty beneath a pale green sky where morning light filters through the rising mist like threads of memory pulled from forgotten time. Its sand, now dark with old blood and shattered stone, tells no tale to those who pass by in the daylight, but beneath the surface, beneath the echo of cheering voices and the dust of death, something older waits. Kalara moves through the underlevels of the arena, cloaked in a plain robe with her hood drawn low. No guards follow, no footsteps trail behind. She walks with only one thing guiding her, a passage in the forbidden scroll Rian uncovered, a single line written in the lost tongue of Presolari. The fire sleeps where the first blade fell, and only royal blood may wake. She reaches a sealed door carved with the ancient symbol of unity, a symbol erased from all current flags and memory. She places her hand on the panel and feels warmth rise from the stone, not heat but recognition. The door slides open without noise. Inside lies a chamber untouched by time, its walls carved with scenes of beings that do not match Zelari form, taller, thinner, eyes wide with sorrow. Hands stretched toward stars. In the center of the chamber rests a pedestal. Upon it a single broken sword, its blade cracked but still humming with soft light. Kalara steps forward. Each breath feels heavier, not from fear, from weight. The weight of everything she never knew. She places her fingers on the hilt and visions flood her Minda world of blue oceans and green forests, a sky filled with silver towers and winged machines. Voices speak in earth tongue, children play with light tools, elders teach through memory fields. Then comes fire, a war that tears planets apart. Ships rain from the sky like falling gods, and a voice speaks through it. All they are your children. They forgot their name, and we hid the truth so they might survive. Kalara stumbles back, breathing hard. The sword glows brighter now, responding to her blood, to her breath, to her awakening. Behind her a soft voice speaks. It is Rian. I hoped you would call me. Kalara turns, her voice shakes, but her gaze is firm. What is this place? Why do I see your world in my memory? Why does this sword feel like it? Rian walks to the pedestal, his steps calm, his presence like gravity. This arena was not built for games. It was built over a fracture, a wound in time, a place where the truth bled out and was buried by Kalara looks around the chamber. Again, the walls tell a story that has no place in her history books, images of humans and Zelari standing together, not as enemies, but as one. She whispers the question her heart fears. We were human once. Rian nods. Not all, but many. Your bloodlines were shaped by war, by design, by desperation. When Earth fell into silence, the ones who survived changed to live among stars, changed by choice or by force. Kalara feels her knees weaken. She leans against the wall and closes her eyes. Why would they lie? Why hide our origin? Why erase everything? Because control needs silence, because power fears truth. Because if your people knew where they came from, they might rise before they kneel. Rian kneels beside the pedestal. His hand touches the broken blade. His sword belonged to a guardian, one who swore to protect both Earth and her children across the stars. He died here when the first rebellion began. The fire that changed your kind forever. Keller watches him, her voice quiet like morning wind. And what do you want from us? Nareen lifts his gaze to hers. Not worship, not surrender, only memory, only connection. You and your people must remember. Because what is coming does not care for crowns or empires. It only cares that the old flame never rises. Again Kalara stands tall once more, her face clear, her fear now shaped into purpose. Then let it rise with truth, with fire, with everything we once were. And offers her the blade. It fits her hand like it was made for her. The chamber lights shift symbols. Along the walls glow brighter, the air hums with energy, and somewhere deep in the palace, a beacon awakens, one not heard in 1,000 years, a signal of return, of reckoning. Above the arena, the skies darken despite the sun, a storm brews not of weather, but of fate. The past has been found, the future now watches, and the fire remembers. The sky over Zellari Prime splits like fabric as black ships descend from the clouds, without sound, without flame, without warning. The people look up with fear in their eyes and questions on their tongues. The banners of Earth shine across the sky, not as threats but as signals. The age of silence is over, and the truth can no longer be buried inside the royal tower. Kylara stands at the edge of the high balcony, wrapped in robes of silver, and storm behind her. The council shouts with anger. Generals demand weapons, nobles scream about invasion, priests call it prophecy, but Kylara hears none of it. Her mind still burns with the vision from the chamber beneath the arena. The broken sword now lies across her, thrown not as a symbol of rule, but as a key to memory. Aaron stands at her side, silent like a mountain before a flood. He says nothing until her eyes meet his. Then with a single breath he speaks the question he came to ask. Will you fight for a lie or rise for the truth? She looks beyond the balcony at the ships above the towers. Some are larger than any Zellari vessel ever built. Others glow with colors her people have never seen, but none fire, none destroyed. They wait. Just like him, the council demands war. They name Rian a traitor, a thief, a manipulator, but Kylara lifts a hand and the chamber falls silent. She walks forward. Not with fear, not with pride, with something new, something forged in pain and shaped by memory. She speaks not to the council, not to Rian, but to her people. Through the flame broadcast that lights every wall, every square, every home, we were told that power came from strength, that history began with conquest, that law was sacred, that our form was divine. But I have seen the face of our forgotten fathers. I have held the sword of the first protector, and I have walked in the dust where memory still speaks. She breathes, and the fire beside her burns blue, the color of origin, the color of change. We are not what they told us we are, more, and now we must choose what we become. The council shouts again, but their voices are dust now. The people do not look at them. They look at her. Above the clouds, the Earth fleet opens its main channel. A single voice speaks through the sky in every tongue ever recorded. This it is not an invasion. This is a return. We come not to conquer, but to reconnect, to heal what was broken, to remember what was lost. Kalara steps back and looks to Rian. You knew this would happen from the start. Rian nods slowly. My mission was not war. It was contact, to awaken you, and now you must decide if we stand side by side or fall apart again. Below the tower the maids gather. Myra leads them, dressed not in armor but in robes of memory. Each one carries a symbol of the old blood. They have seen the sword, they have seen the fire, and they believe a killer returns and walks to the royal vault, a place sealed for centuries, a place where no ruler has entered since the first dynasty. She places her hand upon the seal and it opens with light, not sound. Inside lies the scroll of stars, the last truth of their people, written by the ones who left Earth long ago and chose silence over survival. She brings it to the flame, reads it aloud. Every word a blade against the lies, every line a crack. In the walls of power the people weep, the elders kneel, the young listen as if hearing music for the first time. Then silence again, not of fear, of readiness. Kalara raises the sword not as a weapon but as a torch. We do not surrender, we remember, and we welcome those who share the fire. The Earth ships send a signal back, one that lights the sky with stars arranged in the pattern of the old constellation, the one they called home. Rian smiles, not with pride but with peace. His mission is complete, but something new has begun. Kalara stands beside him, not as prize, not as ruler, as equal. And as the flame burns behind them and the people chant in voices both old and new, the world turns forward, no longer alone, no longer divided. The fire has returned and it will never sleep again.